Hello, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to Deep Dive from the Hive, where we discuss modern-day musician life, answering the call to create, and what it takes to actually produce what you believe in. I'm your host, Marv Ellis, the captain of this submarine. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, so let's batten down the hatches and get to it. Let's go. Yes. Thank you for tuning in and checking us out. It's me. Hi, Earthlings. We are here ready to go deep once again. First of all, I want to shout out to my friends up on Mount Hood. Horner, if you're listening in that kitchen making the most delicious barbecue in the state of Oregon, this cast and this shout out is for you. It's so cool to hear my friends in the industry listening while they cook in the kitchen to this cast, musicians working hard, trying to make it. So this is a shout out to all musicians working anywhere, in any kitchen, in any restaurant, trying to get by, pay the bills, supplement their creativity. This is a shout out to you because I've been there before and I know our next guest has too. Ladies and gentlemen, she's a singer-songwriter who uses music to heal, to inspire, and to empower people. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah Dion Brooks is in the building.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Excited.
Yeah. Awesome. It's a beautiful day, right?
It is.
Slightly snowy drizzle outside, but not too
weird. Yeah.
sunny.
Compared to 63 degrees a few days ago. But,
right, but you can't complain about Southern Oregon weather. Yeah. Neither the vitamin D as well is fantastic. Very good for the mind, the mental.
Yes.
So, let's get into it. Sarah Dion Brooks is your name, but what I want to know is what's in a name, Sarah?
When I first started performing 11 years ago, I wanted something more than just the name I had. I started doing searches online and my name was pretty common, and I really started writing down names and coming up with it. But Dion was one of my dearest friends in high school. And the morning of my 25th birthday, I received a phone call from my brother, and he told me Dion's mom was trying to get a hold of him. And I called her and found out that Dion had been murdered that morning. Right. Or 12 hours before. And Dion was one of those amazing characters, strong woman. She was a strong woman. She was very determined, very driven, very focused. And we did dance team together and we performed together and we went and watched the Rockettes together. And she just was this light. And so I was totally living a different life at this time. I had, 2 or 3 children by this time. And I wanted her with me. So when I was coming up with a stage name, I had come up with a lot of different names, and Sarah Brooks was kind of common. But Dion really, really nailed it. And so
you sort of honor her, her life through your music with your name.
Yes.
That's good stuff.
And I want her with me.
You got her with you. She's all our friends. I had a good friend committed suicide when I was a junior in high school, and I carry him with me everywhere I go. And when I perform, when I'm nervous, I remember that he was one of the most shy people I knew, and he would never be able to project and tell people what he thinks like I can. So I'm honoring his inability to, obviously because he's not here, but what he couldn't. I always feel like I'm talking for the nerds in school. So that's been my the staff I carry, the flag I bear,
I like that.
But there's other aspects to the name Sarah Dion Brooks. Like you could have been Evelyn, right? Your grandma.
Sarah
very
Evelyn.
Classy. You're a very classy lady, right?
I like classy.
Yeah.
Sarah Evelyn Hawkins was the name I was born with.
Okay.
And then I was Sarah Evelyn Beckstead for 18 years because I was married. And there's a lot of Sarah Becksteads in this world. And
are there?
Well, my daughter's Sarah Beckstead.
So aside from your daughter, there's a lot of Becksteads?
Well, there are in Utah. And
just like a lot of Shad Shrivers.
No, there's only one of those.
There's only one.
There's only one of those.
Okay.
But I wanted something unique. I I wanted my name to be mine, and I wanted to pour my love and my energy and my heart into that and be the only one. So
I like it.
that's where it came from.
I like it. Organic.
Yeah.
It's good. And you were born in
Salem, Oregon.
Grew up in.
I lived there until I was 10, and then we moved to Tillamook until I was 17. And then we moved back to the Salem area, and I graduated from State in high school.
So mostly Midwestern Oregon upbringing.
Yes. Yeah.
What was school like for where'd you go to school? Let's go with high school.
Go with high school.
Or what were you like when you were a little kid? What was little Sarah Dion?
Sarah Evelyn.
Like?
Big imagination. Run around. I wanted to be the next Nadia Comaneci when I was little, and I loved gymnastics. I knew from when I was little that I wanted to be on stage. I knew that for sure. Watching my sisters perform in choir, and I knew I would be up there. But gymnastics kind of fell through when I really started hitting my growth spurt. And
yeah, it seems like
I'm 5'7", so
if you break the 5'3" plateau, it's no longer in the cards.
Yeah, and I was afraid to do a back handspring, so that really kind of is a really important move in gymnastics, and so I'm afraid of going backwards. So that kind of,
You have backwards-ophobia.
I just don't want to fall.
You want to go forward.
Yes.
In life.
Yes, in life.
Right.
Always moving forward.
So all that training, doing jumping, backflips, the flexibility, what sport did you push that into instead of gymnastics?
I only ended up doing gymnastics for 9 months, but that was like when I was little. I saw Mary Lee Retton win the gold medal. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm, in 1992, I will be 14 years old, and, I'm going to be there. And so that kind of faded a little bit over time, but I was good at running, and I loved track, and I loved dancing. So I did dance team in high school, and track was my biggest sport. I was a sprinter. Yeah.
Sprinter.
Yeah.
4x100.
4x100, 4x400, the 400.
Second in state.
Our short relay, yes.
That's fast.
Yeah.
And as of we mentioned before, Dion, she was in that crew with you?
Dion
or that was
not.
Laura?
No, Laura.
That was Laura.
Laura, you did do your homework.
Yeah, see? I could get a degree in studying things. But siblings. You had siblings.
I am 5 out of 7 children.
What?
Yeah.
Why? No, how? How is this?
How?
What is this? Why? This is 7 children is not normal? Is it?
My upbringing kind of goes like this. My parents were only planning on 2 children. They joined the LDS church and realized there was more people to come into their family, and they had 5 of us children back to back. So
wow.
I'm between 2 brothers, and my older brother's a year and a half older, and my younger brother's a year and a half younger. So it was,
2 brothers.
Those are my only 2 brothers. So no, I have an older sister who's 10 years older, and then another sister who's 8.5 years older, then one that's 3 years older, a brother that's a year and a half older, a brother that's a year and a half younger, and then a sister that's 4 years younger. So I'm 5 out of 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel lost in the attention? Like you weren't?
No, I didn't. I'm not going to say that's not true for everybody in my family,
right?
Because they may have. Maybe I was a little more self-centered growing up. Maybe I can admit that more now. I was very driven though. Like I was very, very busy doing track and cross country and choir and student council and everything that I could possibly do. I liked being well-rounded. I liked being out there. So
how many of those 6 other siblings do you think will tune in immediately to this when it's live and listen to your story?
I would love to say all of them, but I honestly don't know.
These days.
I don't know.
You don't know? It's tough to say these days, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's off in their own little world.
I would say 3 of them for sure.
3 of them for sure. That's half.
Yeah.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah.
Sometimes some people I know tune in. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And they're like, it's weird when you do music,
Yeah, I feel like I'm always saying, hey, look what I'm doing. And they're like, great, that's great, Sarah. I'm like, no, you don't really understand. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
if you slap a corporate label on it, they're like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me more. And you're like, no.
Yeah.
I'm doing something for myself, something I love, something I feel is good for the planet.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that's what you do.
Yeah.
Now, Broadway. You like Broadway?
I love Broadway.
How much do you like Broadway?
Well, probably not as much as some people. I mean, I don't know every play out there. I mean,
You're a fan.
I am a fan. We used to listen to a lot of Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera. And when I was 14, I think I paid for my own ticket to go see that. So when I was in high school, we didn't go to New York, but we saw the shows in Portland. And so I saw Les Mis and Phantom and Beauty and the Beast we saw. We were like 4 rows back. That was pretty awesome. And just love theater. I love it. And I'm getting more familiar with the newer plays because I have, kids that really like it. So just getting familiar with Hamilton. I'm a little behind in that. So Wicked is one of my favorite musicals, though.
Wicked.
Yeah,
okay.
That's a beautiful one.
Yeah, Hamilton sort of took the world by storm.
Oh, yeah.
The riggedy rapping.
Right?
Hibbity hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Then in college, did you take, what are these things that you love, did you take with you into college in your first go around?
My first go around was right after high school. It was a little bit of an ego hurt pain for me because I didn't get into the one college I thought I was going to go to.
Which was?
And I actually was accepted. It was called Brooks College at the time, but it's BYU, Idaho now.
Oh, wow.
And I was accepted for summer term, but not for fall. And I honestly wasn't prepared for any of it. Like, I didn't know. I just assumed I'd be going right into fall. I didn't know anything about financial aid or finances or anything. I just was kind of oblivious. Like, I was just like, oh, but I'm Sarah Hawkins, like.
Yeah, but I'm Sarah Hawkins. I'm second state in 4x100. You don't want this.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an ego. I know I did, especially with music. I really just thought everybody wanted to hear me. And I really thought I was the center for a lot of people, like everybody would care. And as I grew up, I was really humbled in that. So the first year of college, just going to the community college, I ended up getting a scholarship. I wrote an essay in the hallway after I hadn't been admitted to my dream college. Well, like I said, I had, but I wasn't ready to go. Anyway, my counselor said, hey, Chemeketa is giving out these full year scholarships. Why don't you write an essay? So I did, handwritten, handed it in, and I got it. And so my full first year of college was paid for. And so I kind of went and I played around with a lot of different classes. I'm like, I'm going to take 18 credits every term and just.
What was your first, like, I'm doing these courses?
I was going to be a psychology major and a music minor so that I could help people heal through music, which is kind of interesting.
Not weird.
No, I've come back full circle and that's what I do now, but in a totally different way than I thought.
Psychology is interesting for songwriters, huh?
Yeah.
It sort of helps you harden your pen and get really
dig into to the why and the how.
Kalista last week also went to honors college for psychology, and she's singer-songwriter, and she took music minor.
That's cool.
Very similar trajectories on the studious thing. But you left that. Well, first of all, did you run track at Chemeketa?
I did. Well, I wasn't planning on it. I wanted to just kind of focus on the next chapter, and I also knew I was good in high school, but was I good enough for college? So I kind of had a lot of, I think I ran the 400 in high school. I had a 60.1. I don't know if you know anything about times, but as a 400, and I never broke the 60 until my very last 400 that I ran on the relay. So it was never an open 4. And my coach was like, you just ran a 59.7. And I'm like, that's amazing. But these girls that were beating me at state in the 400 were beating me like by 6 seconds. And so I'm like, I'm good, but I'm not great. And I think I didn't want to compete because I didn't want to lose a lot. And I wanted to focus on different things. Yeah. So I was not planning on it, but I did take a track class, and the coach there said, hey, I need an extra girl for the cross country team. We've got district and regionals coming up, and you would be amazing. And so I got to jump on that team for about 3-4 weeks and ended up running for Chemeketa. I ran at the districts and regional and ended up coming in second for our team. Not second overall. I don't remember what place I got, 14th or 15th.
So that's in the NWACs.
Yeah.
I would play baseball in the NWACs for Lane. We won the NWAC championship.
That's
I played
cool.
Chemeketa a lot in baseball, so I know about that. I know what it's like to be in college doing sports at that time while academically trying to do your thing.
Yeah.
And it's really competitive. It's not just an extension of high school. It's college still, and it's junior college, and you could get a D1 ride if you perform well. It's intense. Right. So you stayed you 1 year?
Just 1 year.
Then what happened?
I met my first husband.
Okay. And then you moved around a lot.
We did. Well, we only knew each other 2 weeks before we got engaged, and we got married 6 weeks later.
Okay.
And then a month after we were married, we moved to Florida, which was 3,000 miles away. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you think of the humidity?
Well, I was pregnant with my first child there, so it was really hard for me. I fainted a lot with the humidity, and
it's really gross. The humidity.
It was sticky. Yeah, I don't love humidity. I know you can adapt to it, if you live there a long time. But I like the West Coast because we don't have it.
So, there in the East Coast, is that where you fell in love with the sunrise coming over the ocean? Because when you're in the West Coast, the sun rises over the mountains, but in the East Coast, it rises over the ocean, and you're like, God.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
Right? Is that where you fell in love with the sunrises? Tell me, I want to know, because you said you're a sunrise lover. Did it happen when you went there to the East
I don't
Coast?
know if it really happened there, but one thing you could do in Florida is you could watch the sunrise and then you can watch the sunset over
in the ocean.
too. Yeah, you could drive across the state. It only takes a few hours. So
Is that where it happened?
No, I think the mornings for me was when I'd get up and go on runs and I would see the sunrise. And there's just something fresh about the new day and the morning and the fog lifting off the grass. And I mean, I lived in Missouri for a while and
Florida, Missouri,
Texas. And
Texas. Where in Texas?
San Antonio area.
Oh, by the Alamo.
Yeah, but I never went.
You never went to the Alamo?
No, we lived there for a year and a half and I never went. I feel so guilty. Sorry, Texans. I know.
Oh, they're not mad. They're just happy that you're happy.
Yeah.
I would think. So you had, and during this time, you're having kids, and your faith is primarily, as is teens growing up into the early adulthood, it's Mormon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So have kids.
Yeah, we had 5.
5. You did.
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's work.
Yeah.
It is. 3 boys, 2 girls.
Yes.
Which is your favorite? Just joking.
I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
They're all awesome. You want to shout their names out? You can say hi to them if you would like.
Amber, Daniel, Jason, Sarah, and Paul.
Amber, Daniel,
Jason,
Sarah, and Paul.
And
Love
I have
it.
2 stepdaughters I want to shout out to them too, because
You
there's a
have to.
Sarah and a Hannah. I have 3 Sarahs in our family.
Any of them follow in your footsteps? What you're doing right now? Do they? I want to sing and play piano. Like,
my daughter Sarah loves theater and she loves singing, and she's probably a little more along the lines of my personality in that my older 3 kids are a little just different focus. My son actually ran for Lane for 1 year. He ran cross country for Lane there,
which is a great cross country program.
Yeah, but then COVID hit and it kind of took away that. So he's just like, why do I want to just go to school if I can't really run? So he's pursuing other things right now. So yeah, but they're all musical. They just don't have the dream of being on stage like I did, right. I guess, because they'll sing quietly. Like if I'm taking a nap in the house and they were walking through singing and they didn't know I was home, I'd be like, wow, they can sing, but they don't want to sing in front of people.
They just want to be YouTube stars now.
Not my older 3, but my younger 2.
Right? Isn't that weird? Like we grew up, I want to be a musician.
Right.
And then that's what I said that's how I sounded. I want to be a musician. and then now it's like, I want to be a YouTube star. So YouTuber. I can have followers.
Yeah.
And vlog. It's so strange. When you run, what does that do for your headspace?
When I run?
Yeah, when you go for your daily run.
I don't quite go daily. I really need to, but
when you run.
So especially during COVID, a lot of times I'm running with a team. I love coaching cross country track, and I run with the kids, and I love to help motivate them. And so I'm talking constantly with them to help motivate them. So I'm not thinking too much. And when I used to run a lot by myself, I would think too much. And so then I started listening to a lot of audiobooks.
I was going to ask if you let your mind wander and your monkey mind go off when you run, or if you fill it with audiobooks.
Most of the time, audiobooks, and every once in a while, some music.
So you don't use those moments to listen to yourself and your thoughts?
Not most of the time. Okay. Sometimes I do.
I was just checking.
I'm learning to do that more and more, to just actually be quiet and trust myself and have those conversations with my soul. Yeah. Yeah.
But you ran that love of running in that background and running straight into a track coaching job as well.
Yeah.
What's that like, to be a coach of kids, tell them to run? Is it weird? Cross country, not sprinting.
Well, I want to help sprint at the high school. So I volunteer with the coaching at the high school. I was volunteering with the distance program, but now I'm trying to help with the sprints because I just know it, and that's where my total love is, for the high school track. But I help with the cross country at the middle school, and I love it because we have 50 kids signed up right now, and not all of them are showing up right now because it's just a different year. We wear masks while we run right now, and we have to, and it's
strange.
But it's about getting the kids out there. For me, it's about learning the mental toughness. I think that's one reason I love the distance running so much, is because if you can learn mental toughness, that you can accomplish these hard things, they're going to go with you for the rest of your life. So
I could see you being a good track coach.
Yeah.
Just being able to positively reinforce. It's tough when you're running and you want to die. You feel like you're going to die and you're like, why am I doing this? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And somebody's like, it's almost over.
Yeah.
You can do it.
And,
and it gets you. So you're a leader, inspirational speaker while you run.
I that's what I hope to be. My first year as a distance helping assistant coach at the high school. I was in charge of the JV team, and our varsity kids were somewhere else. So I had the whole JV distance team. Sorry.
What do you think about technology?
I think technology is amazing. I felt a ring on my phone. Hold on.
It's your watch. It's not your phone.
It's my watch.
This is a watch, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, this is Alex.
Oh, you get the.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting a
spam calls.
I'm getting a spam call right now.
You should put them on the podcast.
I don't know how to hang it up.
Put it on. Hi, how's it going?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Sir, I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
What do you need today?
This is Alex from the warranty division. Can you verify the year, make, and model of your vehicle, sir, so I can pull up your file correctly?
Alex, it's your lucky day. I want to give you all my bank account information right now. Is that cool with you?
All right, sir. What is the year, make, and model of your vehicle?
It's a Geo Metro. It's a time machine.
I'm sorry?
It's a time machine Geo Metro. Are you interested?
All right. I think we're all set. Have a great day.
Yeah, bye.
I'm so
That's how I deal with those assholes. I hate those guys. All right, let's get back to this.
Okay, I'm gonna hide my watch. I thought I was ending the call. I'm like, I'm getting a call on my phone. Okay, just
No.
push that button.
It's
I clicked the
okay.
wrong
It's
one.
okay. It's okay. So let's get down to the real questions that everybody wants to know. What are you streaming these days on your streams? Because we've been a year into COVID, and by now you've established what you like to stream and
Right.
Tell me what you started with, where you're at right now, because I realize that this is actually fascinating when you actually see what people like, because it says a lot about what they like, what they don't like.
Well, we've tried a handful of shows, but I've realized I do not like violence and cruelty, and so we'll watch. If there's any of that, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So my husband can watch that on his own, but we did watch all of the Marvel movies back to back, not back to back in one day, but we went through all of them in order. That was pretty fun.
There's a lot of violence in that.
Yeah, but it's quirky violence. There's difference. If there's like Umbrella Academy,
Gratuitous.
have you seen that?
Oh yeah.
And it's like
Just super-
cool music to it, and
Yeah.
it's different. But when it's like really intense music and there's cruelty and there's a lot of blood, like I can't handle some of those shows. Like we got through a few episodes of Outlander, and I'm like, I can't get through this anymore.
It's not me.
No. So we watched This Is Us is my favorite show, and that's just because it's so real and it's just incredible storyline and acting, and I love that. I love the Great British Bake Off. I love The Crown. We're watching The Crown right now, and
You like the intrigue, and you like cooking. Do you cook
I
a lot?
like. It's changed over the years. I've had to cook a lot because of family, but I think I didn't really love it before, where I enjoy it more now.
What's that go? See, I have a partner. I have a lady. I call her my wife. We're engaged. As soon as COVID's over, we're gonna get married.
Yeah.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
We have our go-to meals. What's your go-to meal with Shad? With Shad?
Tacos.
Tacos. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Many variety of tacos.
what do you want to eat? I don't know. We could do tacos. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
Tacos or Vietnamese. We've got a Vietnamese restaurant here in Grants Pass, which is amazing
Really?
food. Yeah.
You like pho?
Not as much.
Really?
I have the number one every time we go there.
What is the number one?
It's got this delicious chicken with this amazing cabbage slaw and rice.
Okay, I'm just trying to establish some things that I
About
want to
me.
eat today.
It's on the corner of D.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a great
Saigon.
Yeah, I might go to Saigon.
It's
We should go to Saigon, Danielle. Just delicious noodles. I'm sure they have vegan something, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Have you seen Game Changers?
I've had several friends tell me to watch that recently.
Yeah,
So I
about
haven't watched it yet.
plant-based diet and athletics and
Yeah, we actually try to eat vegan 4 or 5 times. Well, maybe not that many times. Ideally, I would love to eat it 4 times a week.
so you're plant-based.
We do eat meat though.
No, I'm
occasionally,
saying
but-
I'm redefining plant-based. It's like your diet is based in plant-based
Yes,
diet.
yeah.
But you do dabble in, hey, my friend killed this elk, or hey, I caught this fish, this steelhead.
Yeah,
Like that?
Yeah, we'll have. I mean, we order through a steak company, and we get a box of meat every month, so it's
Okay.
better quality.
Yeah.
But I love the vegetarian meals, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of food sensitivities, and so I'm better when I don't eat any dairy
The
at
butters,
all.
the milks. And
Yeah,
did
and
that-
wheat too. I don't do well with wheat.
Did that come up growing in the capital of dairy, in Oregon's dairy capital, where you went to high school?
Possibly.
Literally, you grew up
Yeah.
right next door
We were the cheesemakers.
to Tillamook Cheese Factory.
Yes.
And you said you ate logs, but not slices. And it was always medium cheddar.
medium cheddar. Yeah.
And what about the cream of ice?
Brown cow was our favorite. They've changed the name to Utterly Chocolate now, but brown cow was my favorite.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
Utterly chocolate. Do you have a graphic imagination?
Of
just anything like,
yeah.
you know, violence. You mentioned violence, and do you see graphics in your head? Do you see pictures and things?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking.
Because we were talking about ice cream, and so then you into violence.
No,
I can picture brown cow ice cream.
I just want to see, because when you say brown cow, the Utterly chocolate triggers a far different flavor in my mouth than brown cow ice cream.
Very true.
That's all I want to know. But you like cinnamon tea. You don't even drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Do you have any cinnamon tea, Trev?
It's okay.
No?
Good Earth.
Good Earth? What's your favorite cinnamon tea?
I love the kind that, I can't remember the name. Dutch Brothers sells it. It's a cinnamon tea.
Okay.
And when I really need caffeine, I'll have a shot of white coffee in it.
Cinnamon.
But
one of my favorite words.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your favorite words? Just off the top. Like just words you like to say. Cookies. Cinnamon.
That's a really good question.
Water.
I don't know if I've ever really thought about it.
You ever thought about words?
Not in that sense of words I like to say.
Because you do know that the word you speak becomes the house you live in.
Yes, I do. I know that.
Who said that?
Well. Hafitz? Is that
Hafitz, yeah. And you study words because you are a neuro-linguistic programming master practitioner.
Yes.
What does that mean?
I am fascinated with the study of the words. And it really all started for me. If it's okay, I share the story.
Go on, let's roll with it.
When I was serving about 7-8 years ago, maybe 6-7 years ago, I've always been really interested in self-help and motivation and all of that kind of stuff. But I was going through, my divorce, and there was a lot of pain that I was dealing with on a regular basis. And I was bringing a lot of that to work. And one day I had a really rough shift, and I knew I had to come back, and I needed to have a higher energy. And so I just got in my car, I shut my door, I was completely by myself. I didn't even start the car yet. And I just grabbed my steering wheel and I held on so tight, and I screamed out, "I'm fucking amazing," like as loud as I can. I'm like, "I'm fucking amazing." And I kept screaming it over and over. And within a few minutes, like I felt completely better. And I just had this massive wave of energy come over me. And then I started doing all of these affirmations. And so I really put myself in this higher state of energy. It's a peak state, really. Tony Robbins will talk about that as a peak state. And I was doing this before I knew anything about what Tony Robbins was teaching, but I really coming into work, being at this level here, so that if anything bad happened, it might knock me down a little bit, but I was going to start here, So I really started learning, and becoming more aware, I think, and mindful of the words I was telling myself, the words I was telling other people, because, really what we think all the time and what we say, it becomes our reality, whether it's really what is truth though. If that's your truth and that's what you believe, that's how you're going to live your life. And so I think during that time, I really started becoming mindful of that and aware of that. And after I was remarried to my second husband, I started seeing a counselor, and it was really helpful to get through some of that. But when I knew talk therapy was only so good for me because I was just talking and, venting, and I wasn't really empowering myself. And my naturopathic doctor recommended an NLP practitioner. And so I went to see her, and she offered a 2-hour free consultation, and I sat with her. And in those 2 hours, I'm like, oh yeah, this is something, this is real, because this empowers me to be able to take the words I'm telling myself and reprogram myself, because I want to be fucking amazing. I want to be this amazing person. I want to show up, and I want to be what I know I am. And I'm tired of complaining and finding all of this criticism, like all of these things. So
divorce is hard.
It is hard.
On the mind, on the wallet, on the body, recovering, coming back, resealing and preparing.
Yeah.
Accepting.
Yes.
Positive verbal affirmation really is helpful.
Yes.
My mother, second divorce, I remember I was her counselor. And I would sit there and be like, "Mom, you're the shit. You're badass." I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, "You can do this. I know you can do it." I was my mom's counselor.
Yeah.
And I remember realizing how powerful the words were then to help push through the pain.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay, Mom. Like that. I was doing that since I was a little kid.
Which is so amazing
Yeah.
because you just listened to that inside of you and you
Yeah.
were there for her and she needed that.
And you needed it too that day, and it helped you re-empower yourself and come back to work at your job, and you were working multiple jobs.
Yeah.
And it was sort of an epiphany. I would call that epiphany, would you?
Yes. Yeah, it was a life-changing moment. If I looked back on my life, it was because I had that power within inside of me. Like I did that. And I walked in with my head held high and I felt like a queen. And I showed up to every one of my tables differently. I was at a higher vibration of energy. It was really awesome. Yeah. And I loved it. I loved feeling that way. And so, most of my shifts after that were like that. Yeah. And I didn't want to bring the negative energy with me anymore.
So
and I just,
how old are you at this moment?
About 36.
So you started bringing mindfulness, positive verbal affirmation into your life, and it started improving your life.
Yes. Completely turning it around, because I started seeing it, we've all heard, you can see the glass half full or half empty. I mean, we've all heard those things, but really, what does it mean, And
what does it all mean? Yeah, I know.
So to really, really be able to look at those things. So as I started studying it myself, COVID gave me the great chance because, gigs were canceled last year. And so I was diving into it. I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to help people, like my NLP practitioner helped me, and she did. I mean, amazingly. She gave me so many tools, and then I took them and I started really developing them. I started reading a lot more, researching a lot more, and I wrote my own program, and I've helped clients this last year as well. So I want to help people really become mindful of the words they're saying, the words they're thinking, because words have energy, right? Like one of the words or phrases, what kind of phrases do you say on a regular basis? There were some that would be like, I can't. I've heard that phrase many times. And a friend of mine, while I was working at this restaurant, gave me this little saying that says, actually, I can. And every time I see that, I'm like, heck yeah, I can. I can do this. And so it's like just replanting, reprogramming, reconditioning my mind to take powerful phrases that gave me high energy versus the other ones that made me feel bad.
Do you study the words, but do you study the tones?
I think it depends on how I'm saying it. So how do you?
Actually, I can. Or actually, I can. The tone matters.
Tone matters.
I study tone. That's my life pursuit. That's what I live. That's my religion. I listen to how the words are said, and I try to figure out if I say them differently, somebody might think differently. Or if I say them differently, somebody might think differently.
Absolutely.
Right? So I study the tone that goes with the word. And when you added fuck to that day in your epiphany, you changed the tone of it.
Yes.
And I want to know if you recognize that.
I do recognize that. I recognize it because of how it makes me feel.
Right?
Yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Well, because it's empowering. If I were to just say I'm amazing, it wouldn't give me the same strength,
I guess I'm amazing.
Amazing.
I'm fucking amazing.
I'm fucking amazing.
It's that tone.
Not just fucking amazing.
Right.
Like I had to scream.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The tone.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
That's why I want to know if you study the tone, because you study the words, you teach the words, but
I think
you study
I'm
the tone.
mindful, but I don't know if I actually study it yet.
Okay.
But I have become more and more mindful of the tone. I mean, I definitely recognize the energy behind words depending on how people say things. Yes.
In my perspective, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
When you're saying anything,
right,
is the tone.
For sure.
You live NLP.
Yeah.
It's your life.
It is.
Is it your faith now? Because I mean, if you live it, you practice it, you preach it, it's helped your life. It helps you be more mindful, live more altruistically. It's a religion. What is a religion? And then also, what if it's not? What religion do you see NLP most prevalent in?
From where my standpoint is, and that's only my perception, because I can't see from anyone else's, unless I really practice and try.
Which is very Buddhist of you to say.
I really love the Buddhist teachings. I do. I love everything I've learned, and it's more of a philosophy than a religion to me. And I think because I grew up in such a strong faith base, and I have stepped away from all organized religion, I have found myself more on a journey of spirituality. But I don't want to call it a religion. I want to call it, I want to be at peace, and I want to help spread peace. I don't want to convert anyone. I want to spread peace with inner peace. Like like, I really do love the fact the Dalai Lama said that inner peace or world peace begins with inner peace.
Yes.
And most of our struggles in life, or all of our struggles, right? They come based on the words that we're telling ourselves or what we're living in that moment, and depression. And I mean, I had very many bouts with depression while I was married in my first year, or first marriage, not my first year, but because I didn't know how. I didn't have the tools. I didn't recognize that I was complaining to myself, and I was in a rough situation. I
think that's so ironic, because you went to the place where everybody's complaining about themselves everywhere, and all I see when I log in is people bitching. It's Facebook, but you looked to Facebook and used it for healing in that moment. Tell me what you found on Facebook.
Positive quotes.
Just all day, just like bam.
That's all I would look for.
You look past all the bullshit and just go right to the positive.
Yes. And I started subscribing to more positive groups. And
like it.
The more I subscribe, the more it says in my feed. And most of the times when I log on, I don't see the political posts. I see the positive quotes. And then I started writing them down in a journal. And I would go back to that journal all the time when I needed that positive energy. And that, I mean, I give journals away all the time. I'm actually designing journals now because I just love it. Just with positive. Right now, they're just on Amazon of like the, paperback versions of it.
Hold on. We can go to Amazon.com.
Yes.
And look up the Sarah.
Well, they'll be under Inner Garden. Inner Garden LLC journals,
which is the NLP
yes
business that you started.
Yes, it's called the Inner Garden Center for the Mind, Body, and Soul.
So anybody can go online and find these.
Yes.
And if we had our visual display, we would be showing that right now. But let's move forward.
Okay.
Quarantine shut down your performances, as they did for myself and mostly everybody. I mean, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. But
beautiful.
Beautifully.
Yeah.
Beautifully tragic.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's awesome.
It is.
And if you can find that, that's sort of the Buddhism.
Right.
That I get from Buddhism.
Yeah.
Also the mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And the self, but that can go all day talking about that.
Right.
But performances got shut down for you. But I would really want to go back to when you first started performing, because I noticed a couple things as I psychoanalyzed your entire life yesterday.
That was available online.
Caffeinated.
Right?
Yeah. So, but I saw that your first gig was in retirement homes.
Yes.
For the elderly people, which I think we should be always on. I think in this country, we do not honor our elders enough.
I agree.
How's that for an opinion, Trevor? He says I need to say more opinions. You said that too. Both of you guys have separately told me I need to say, I think we need to honor our elders better.
Yes.
We push them to the side too fast. What's up, America? Anyway, you went and played music for them.
I still do.
Still do.
Mm-hmm.
And is that why? And you love how classy, and they talk about the 20s, the 30s, and they wear a lot of jewelry. Is that where you got your jewelry style from?
No.
Are you feeling that class just shining through? And you're like, I'm gonna garner all this jewelry to represent Victorian
You're talking
style.
about my jewelry here. This isn't really Victorian style. These are more of my.
But in your press photos, you got a lot of jewelry on. Is that your steez, right?
You know, when I first started, I wore a lot of vintage dresses. I would go to these little tiny places wherever I was living in Texas. There was a really cool little shop, and I would buy these old vintage dresses, and I would dress up in them, and I would look like a 1940s, one of the places were like, you're like this 1940s movie star, and our residents just love you so much. And then I would plug into backing tracks and sing 1940s big band songs for them. And so, I mean, my show's a little different now that I sing a lot of songs on piano, but I still sing like Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy with the backing tracks and Que Sera Sera, because they want to hear the familiarity, but yes, I love them. In fact, I had 2 shows right around Valentine's Day at 2 different retirement communities here. And
they probably got dressed up.
They did.
Put on all their jewelry. They came out to see you. That's really cool. And
it's this connection.
There's nothing better than making an old person smile. That's one of my favorite things to do. I'll stop. I will always say something. If I'm in a waiting room, on an elevator, in line with somebody old, I'll find something to say to them.
Yeah.
I'll turn to an old lady. You look absolutely stunning today.
I love it.
That's the move.
I love it.
You got to honor the elders, because we're here in a studio. It's nice. We learned, they went through, they helped us form our identities now.
Yeah.
Without even knowing it.
Well, and they've been through so much.
Much.
As a history major, that was my favorite span of history, was like right between World War I and now. I mean, they have been through a lot. My grandmother lived to be 100 years old, and she was right in that time. She was born in 1912, and it was like what they experienced, what they went through. I mean, resilience. Like these people have been through a lot. So I have a lot of respect and admiration. I always have. Even when I was a little girl, my favorite neighbors were the old people. I would go and visit them. So
Does that make you laugh at your children when they're like, "There's no Wi-Fi," and you're like, "Do you even know what my grandma, like
I
they
know.
went through?" Like these
I'm
kids
usually
these
complaining
days.
that there's not Wi-Fi too.
That's a first world problem, though, right?
It is a totally first world
world
problem.
problem.
Like I didn't used to have. I had the BlackBerry. I was like, okay, this is as advanced as I want to go. And then I got an iPhone, and I'm like, oh gosh,
I'm not going any more than that. And then the holographic phone comes out next year, and you're like, "Oh, I got to get that."
One of my friends was just talking about Oculus. Is that what it's called? That.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what's that? I feel very like I can't do Siri. I don't even talk to Siri yet. That I'm not that advanced yet, but I'm.
Oculus is the beginning of the end, Sarah.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of us looking at each other when we talk to each other.
That's sad. But then my friend can sit with all of her relatives around the country in the same game together.
True. But are they
But
together? You can
True,
also be
true.
a seed and grow as a tree in the forest, and then they simulate the forest catching on fire and burning, and it's actually motivated people to be more conscious and aware of forests. Like you can use it for
That's
good
true.
and you can use it for bad.
That's very true.
Or you can use it for what you think is good and it's actually bad.
Right.
But we don't know if it's bad or if it's good.
Right.
Once again, Bill Murray comes up again. But let's talk about when you sit at home and you it seems like you're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
You love to write.
I do.
You write blogs,
I do.
and which made it really easy for me to learn about you. I was like, oh, look, she's written pages of research on herself and
That
like
was
what
just
she
on the
thinks.
Sarah Dion Brooks page. You didn't check out the Inner Garden page probably because I have a few handful of
Well, I wanted
blogs over
something
there
to be
too.
left to the imagination.
You wanted to have some Sunday off,
some
right?
sort of talk. No, I was good.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, there are these written pieces, but they go so much deeper than the songs. Like they're the written background story behind a song you make, or some sort of action you've taken in your life, or like, I mean, I even opened our podcast like, what's in a name? Because that's one of the blogs.
Right.
It's sort of a joke. I thought you'd get it.
I did.
But like where your name came from
Right.
and why music is therapy to you.
Yes.
So writing
Yes.
is your therapy.
Yeah.
You feel it.
I do.
Are you a conduit? Do you feel like you can do it? You can do it.
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
When you write, you say you sit in front of, sometimes you sit in front of a piano, and you just let it pour through you.
Yeah.
See what comes out on the other end.
Sometimes I close my eyes and just sit, and sometimes I ask, what do I need right now, or what do I need to say right now? And sometimes it's if I'm in a really depressed state, or which is not very often, but I have written a handful of songs that way, and they've really, really helped me heal. So yeah, and some of them are in dreams, but most of the time I'm really learning to trust that intuition. I really am, because that's really what is coming out of me. And like I was sharing with you, I write meditations as well. And the reason I do that is because I want to continue to have guided meditations that I need. And so I share them with the world as well. Same with my music. I share what I write, and I don't want to die with the music inside of me. That's a Wayne Dyer quote that I really, really love.
What are you listening to when you listen to yourself? Are you listening to your heart, your mind, your chest, the events of the day, somebody said, a melody you heard while you were sweeping the floor? What are you listening to?
I'm just probably my heart, if anything.
Okay.
Yeah. It's coming from deep within.
Yeah. And so you feel like we're all innately connected as brothers and sisters on this planet, right?
Absolutely.
Very Buddhist.
Yeah.
Right. And you feel like music speaks without speaking.
Yes.
I really like that.
Thank you.
You write a lot of cool lyrics in your blog.
Thank you.
When you write, are you like me, pen, pad? Are you iPhone? You how are you doing it these days?
When I write lyrics, it's generally pencil or pen and a notepad in front of me. It depends when, though. If I'm one thing that was really cool, I was driving home at the end of January. I was up in Corvallis, and I was coming back home, and it was really raining that night. And I was just kind of having a little conversation kind of with my soul. And, Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay are some of my favorite teachers. And so I'm just, imagining them and having this really amazing conversation in my mind. And all of a sudden, a new song came to me. And it came in the form of a hand reaching out with a lantern. And then I heard the words, "Let the light lead the way."
Yeah.
and I started singing Let the Light Lead the Way. And I was just like singing and singing. I haven't written it all down, but I've recorded it into my phone. And so that was a really cool way. I just need to go write it down. And
it's a nice tool.
Yeah.
The phone message
It
recorder.
is.
And then you can edit and add another line, pause it, add another line, pause it. I've written dozens of songs that way. It's interesting how technology is so much more conducive for brainstorms.
Yes.
And epiphanies.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it provides you comfort, and then you sit in front of this piano. And by the way, you grew up doing track and Broadway, and you didn't spend your youth learning the piano. You started learning piano, right?
Yes.
You probably dinkled around on it. Dinkled? Is that a word?
I don't know. I like it. I'm going to say I dinkled around the
I
piano.
dinkled around the piano. But, you really went all in when you were 27.
Yes. Yeah. That's when I went back to school and I became a music major for 2 years.
But when you were in school, it felt like you were, I had a really very similar feeling of when you went from what you described school was like for you. You were going into school, but you were learning not the type of music you wanted to learn, like opera and stuff, right?
Yeah, I did not know that vocal performance major meant opera. I didn't. I thought smoky bar. I don't like the smoky. Glass of wine by the piano, singing jazz like Ella Fitzgerald,
like Star Wars,
Star Wars,
like Bill Murray, Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars, right?
Yeah, like that.
But it's not.
No, it was opera.
Yeah, I went to music school, U of O, and I walked out of class because they were teaching us how to bob our head to a beat. And I was like, I'm not paying thousands of dollars to learn how to bob my head to a beat. I'm trying to become
Yeah.
But sometimes you can go into something for the degree and it's not even close to what you really want to learn about it, right?
Yeah. I had conversations with my voice teacher too. I was like, this isn't really the style I want to do. And he was like, but even Ella Fitzgerald was classically trained. I'm like, but I want to sing jazzier. Like, I know I can interpret music differently than this. And I think that's where I really became humbled with music, is when I went back to school as a music major, because being forced to sing opera in front of vocal students and in front of the professors, like, my legs have never shaken more in their life. My mouth has never gone more dry in my life than when I would get up there and sing a song in German or whatever. And yeah.
What did you take from it though? Because I took little things from music school, but what did you take as far as honing your voice? What tricks? Did you get your vibrato from that, or you always had
I've
that?
always had the vibrato.
You have a lovely vibrato.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
mostly I get it when your songs are a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
But when they're lower, I get less of it.
I think I feel like I continue to evolve with my style of voice. Sometimes I feel like it's got a little bit more of one sound, and then I kind of go back into the sound that I've always had singing. But the vibratos always come really naturally. I've never had to try for that or anything. And so it's pretty fast vibrato. And I've actually...
It's like a Mel Torme vibrato.
But as a good, like a female.
A Melinda Torme vibrato. Yeah. But it's there. You really can vibrato your vibrato. It's good.
I think that the best thing for me about the music school experience is that I was really trying to be something I wasn't. And I ended up graduating with a history degree in 2010. So it took me, 5-6 years. So because we moved and I ended up finishing my degree online. But that's when I started performing, and I didn't want to audition anymore. I didn't want to play a part that wasn't me. I really wanted to become Sarah Dion Brooks. And so I think really that helped launch me into that. And the piano, I've only been playing piano and accompanying myself for probably 6 years now, because before that I was just mostly backing tracks and playing with bands as a jazz vocalist. But I've really loved the evolution of the piano. For me, it's really been beautiful. So
see, I respect vocalists who know exactly where their voice lies and what style. I can't stand it when I hear a jazz vocalist singing funk or R&B, or like soul music. It's not, their voice doesn't really fit that.
Right.
And they try to just blow their voice out and sound. It's just not what I really love it when somebody's like, I sing jazz. I stick to that. My lady sings jazz. When I produce for her, I produce stuff that's very accommodating for the jazz, sultry voice. So I'm very familiar with that being in my reality and stuff like that.
But my music that I write isn't really jazz.
Right.
I have a jazzy sound,
right.
But it's not really jazz forms. So it's really hard for me to actually put what my music is. You know, when I put it online, is it pop? I mean, is it singer-songwriter folk? Like, I don't really know Americana. Like, I don't really know what style. I just want to sing it. And if it comes out, that's what it comes out. And I mean,
what does your new album sound like? You're making a new album.
I am making a new album. It's got some upbeat songs, and I've been trying to play around with, I feel really, really inexperienced with the production part of it.
I was going to ask you how you record your music.
Yeah, I record at home. I use Reaper is the program I've been using.
That's what Joe.
Yeah. Yeah, actually I did know that. And I've been
Joe uses Reaper, right?
I think he does.
He loves it.
And I'm so trying to do everything, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just not that good at it yet.
No,
and so
okay.
I've been playing around with, okay, maybe I need to have a little bit more of a crescendo here. How can I do that? How can I add more sounds? So I'm a pretty big beginner at this at 43 years old. So I'm kind of like,
It's okay. It's never too late.
Yeah. And I'm really inspired when I hear other people who do that. Like, they've just gone and done it themselves. And so this one is a little bit more, my first album was Rise, and that was just from a live show that I did. And this one is the way I've kind of created the theme for my song is at the end of the year, I do this take back, like, I'm going to look back on 2019 and look at 2020 and what's the word for the year that I want. Yeah. And that year it was Rise. And the next year was Shine. And I'm like, oh, my next album is going to be called Shine. And then I ended up writing a song called Shine On anyway. And then this year, I don't remember what my word is for the year. I should probably go back and look.
What if we figure it out?
The word for the year.
Let's be mindful of your word of the year this year.
Fly. It was fly.
Fly?
Yeah. Rise, shine, fly.
You rise like come back from the ashes, right?
Pretty much.
Or rise like a phoenix.
Yeah.
Which one?
I like the phoenix.
You like the phoenix?
Yeah, because there's power there. There's strength.
You're a superhero fan, obviously, from the Avengers.
Yeah, a little bit.
You like the X-Men?
A little bit.
You like Jean Grey?
A little bit, yeah.
Do you like Jean Grey post or pre-Phoenix?
I need to go back and rewatch those movies.
Do you feel like you're Jean Grey before she turns into the Dark Phoenix, or?
I want a powerful, beautiful goddess Phoenix, like all light, like not dark. So
you want to be a powerful, bright, colorful goddess Phoenix.
Yes.
Got you.
That's what I see.
That's your superhero. That's her superhero card, Trev. Okay, that's the move. But when you let's see where we're at. When you write, I wanted to ask you about what kind of piano you have at home.
We were given this beautiful grand piano.
So you really have?
I do have a grand piano.
Wow.
But that's not what I've been recording on. I've been recording just with my Yamaha keyboard that I have because it's easier for me to plug it in and not have distractions of kids or dogs running around the house. Yeah. So, but we have a beautiful grand piano. Honestly, I don't remember the name. It's 102 years old, I think.
Steinberger.
It's something Brothers. It's something Brothers. But I can't remember.
You have a 110-year-old?
101, I think.
101-year-old grand piano in your house.
1919, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's super cinematic.
It's beautiful. And I love what was going on.
How does it feel to just, cinnamon tea?
Yes.
Let me go play my piano.
It's like cinnamon tea.
It's rainy outside.
And I look right outside when I'm playing. I'm like, this feels so good.
Sweatpants?
Yoga pants.
Yoga pants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or leggings.
Cinnamon tea, leggings, rain outside.
Yeah.
101-year-old grand piano.
Mm-hmm. Getting in my vibe.
Feeling like a conduit.
Yes.
Channeling the energies from the universe.
Sometimes I'll put these on or like do my hair and makeup just to really show up and be,
Okay.
Not always, but sometimes I just want to be like, sometimes obviously songs will come in different forms, right? Like in a dream,
Yeah.
My hair's not even brushed at that point. Like it's just at different times. But when I know I really, really want to work at that, then I want to show up and step into that person and like be present and not allow all the other things to get in the way. So
I feel that.
Yeah.
You write for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I also do. I literally just curate my songs kind of for myself and for my friends. If they come over, I'm like, check it out.
Yeah.
They're like, dope, man. But it's really hard to explain what that means to somebody because it sounds selfish, but it's not. Because if it's your non-religion, you're writing for yourself, but it's guiding your entire life and existence and where you're going.
Right.
It's hard to tell somebody, no, I'm making these songs for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that a little bit about how you do that?
I do. I think.
Your perspective on it.
Well, my perspective on each song is depending on what I'm going through.
Right.
you know, and sometimes I'll be like, I know that there's a song that I want to write, like the message, or that I saw a quote that really empowered me, and I really want to instill that in my beliefs. And that's honestly where a lot of my songs have come from. I mean, I remember somebody had given me a little quote that said, you know, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And I have that up on my piano, and I did. And so I wrote a song called Dance in the Rain, and I kind of took the whole premise of that of like, really it is. And I guess NLP and changing our thoughts, right? Reprogramming and reconditioning my thoughts. I put those into words because the more I sing them, the more they become who I am. And so that's really, you know, I really write to empower myself and become who I know I am inside, but who I can really step into. And like, this is me, and I'm freaking amazing. And like, I want to live that. I want to be that, but I also want to reach other people and
You want to leave your
connect
mark.
them. Yeah.
Leave something behind.
I want to connect people though to that truth, that they can find it within themselves too. Like
Like,
that's
yeah.
what drives me. That's why I do all that I do. That's why I coach cross country. That's why I do NLP. That's why I do my music. I really want people to know that they have that beautiful light inside of them.
You don't want to die with music inside you still.
Yeah.
What song would you play at your funeral for your friends if they outlive you, and that would really, like, you know, somebody would come in and play it for you? Who would be the artist that would play it on a piano, and what song of yours would they sing to explain you and your existence? Any of your songs do that yet?
I feel like they all do in
Okay.
a lot of ways. The Door to Change was really a powerful one for me because that came to me in a dream. And I woke up and I wrote about it. And then a year and a half later, as I was meditating and reading a book, I was really inspired. And I knew that that was a song I needed to write. And it took me about an hour and a half, and that song was done. And I ended up making a video. And it's a beautiful message of a song of the dream I had was I was standing face to face with this young lady, and she was actually on the Grants Pass track team, and I really don't know her very well, and it was kind of a weird dream. All I remember is standing face to face with her, and I saw her t-shirt, and her t-shirt said, "I hope to be the key."
You can read in your dreams?
That's what I mean. I woke up and I wrote it down because I had never experienced that before.
Yeah, I've never.
But it said, "I hope to be the key that unlocks the door to change." And it was so profound. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I woke up and I'm like, my eyes were closed and I'm mumbling this phrase over and over because I didn't want to lose it. And my husband's like, "Are you okay?" Because it was like 6:00 in the morning. And I'm like, just hold on. And so a year and a half later, when I was reading a book, I was inspired. And I'm like, I grabbed my phone notes and I'm like, yep, here we go. And so,
Boom.
yeah. So and then the whole song is about the door to change. Love is the key for that. And that's love for ourselves. And love
It's
for
a heavy
others.
door,
Yeah.
but it'll take so much more than just the strength of me.
Yep.
You wrote that.
Yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
I like good lines.
Thank you.
Have you ever seen The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
You know what Helm's Deep is?
Remind me.
It's the key. It's the keep. It's the last line of
Yes.
defense. It's the heaviest doors. It's the last
Yeah.
spot. The evils are outside. Gandalf returns on the, over the
Mhm.
mountaintop. But it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Like the heavy doors fighting away the evils, trying to protect the good.
Yes.
And it does take more than, as in anything, it takes more than just Trevor to do this cast or Danielle to do something. We all need to be on a team together. It's, to me, this song seems sort of like a unit, like a song for uniting people, like a song like, "Hey, there's a flood. Let's get the sandbags, everybody. We can do this." And it's a photo collage in the video.
Yes.
Did you pick those photos?
I didn't take them, but I picked them. Yeah.
Okay.
And Unsplash is this amazing website that offers all free, content. And so I did. I just made a video. Once again, I was like, I really feel that I need to share that. And how can I do that? So that was, my first video experience of just putting together a collage of and editing and all of that and putting it out there of a way we can see that love really is the answer. Like, we all hurt. We all have our pain. We all have our story.
Yeah.
Whether it's really deep trauma or whatever it is, we all have one.
Yeah.
And it makes us unique and beautiful. It's not a bad thing what's happened to us, but how can we heal and grow, in ourselves and together as a people in this world, and make this world a more beautiful, amazing place rather than trying to compete all the time and
That
and
is
hate.
one of the big questions in life.
Yeah.
But sometimes you embody with your songs, you embody the actual pain itself,
Yes.
right? So in Find Me, your friend Laura,
Yes.
and I at first, on the surface, I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's a suicide. It's a song, you know, from all the pictures of people that committed suicide that are flashing across the screen. I'm like, it's a suicide song. But then I read in your blog that she didn't die, but she tried to, unfortunately.
She did die by suicide.
Oh, she did?
In 2015.
Okay.
But when I first wrote the song,
Laura.
it was in, 2008.
Not Dion.
Yeah, this was Laura.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in high school, my best friend shot himself and killed himself. So I immediately looked at that song. Bam! I'm getting all flooded with my memories of my friend.
It's heavier.
It's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
And
I don't sing it all the time.
It's hard to deal. But you touch, but you embody her. You assimilate into her reality, and you sing about it.
Yeah, I wanted to connect with her.
Yeah.
2008. I mean, I had already had all of my children. I had 5 children at this time. She had just finished nursing school. She went to college at Southern, and she ran track, played basketball, volleyball, and she was a nurse. And I'm like, in my mind, Laura was successful. Like she'd made it. I had no idea what she was, struggling with. I lived 3,000 miles away at the time, and I just didn't know. We hadn't really kept in as good of touch as I would have hoped. And so when I heard what had happened, I just wanted to connect with her so much, and I didn't know how. Yeah. And so that was the first song I really poured anything into, and that was very hard to write, and I cried and cried and cried, but it took a long time for me to come back out with that song as finishing it, you know, and in 2000, what was it, 18, that I think it was 10 years later that I finally finished it, and I did put a video out, and that's a really hard video for me to watch to this day, because every one of those people really did die by suicide, and everyone has a story, and they sent those videos to me, or the pictures to me, and their stories, and it was just like, I cried so much making that video. You know, I just want to reach people and tell them they're not alone.
Right.
They're not alone.
Right now, since the advent of social media on the telephone, teen suicides have gone through the roof. Yeah. Like extremely through the roof. And now you add not only social media, but you add not getting to be in school and connecting with people. Because I know, like you said, we're all innately connected as brothers and sisters. My day's a little bit better when I get to talk to my friends.
Yes. And
I feel like connected as a human, you know, like if you're isolated, hypothetically, let's say you just work on a farm and you are not at home at all and you never see anybody and you live in a trailer or a camper and you do one thing all the time. It sure feels fucking good when you leave the farm and you go out to eat, right?
Right.
And you meet some friends and you do what you love to do, and the passion. And it makes me think, like, you know, you could have all the money, but the happiness is really the success. Like your friend, you saw her as successful, but happiness is, she wasn't.
Mm-mm. She struggled inside.
And inside is where the true wealth is. It's non-monetary, right?
No.
Like happiness is just like, are you doing what you love?
Mm-hmm.
And are you connecting with like-minded people that also do what they love?
And do you feel valued?
Yes.
You know,
do you feel
How
respect?
many people feel alone and depressed because they don't feel appreciated or seen?
Yes.
You know, like I'm right here, but nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. Like I'm here and I'm struggling. Like I think, and you know, I have talked to several people about it, and they said, you know, well, they just felt life would be better, like for everyone else, if they weren't around anymore. And my heart aches for them, and I just want to hug them. And
your empathy's off the charts.
I have a lot of
like
empathy.
I'm feeling it.
That's why I can't watch
I'm empathic, and I'm feeling your empathy, like as you absorb
I love people. I see good in everyone, though. I do. I mean, I don't necessarily go out there and shake everyone's hands. I have my walls up a little bit in protection, but I really believe there's good in every one of us, and I want people to understand that. I'd rather see the good in people. I think that our lights are dimmed because of the pain that we've been in, but it doesn't mean it's not there. And I really feel like I want to help people find that and shine it more.
I like that. You just want to be a battery or a conduit to them.
Yeah.
But then you lighten things up a little bit, though. That's when I noticed your vibrato pop out a little bit more. I don't know, I Dance in the Rain.
Yeah.
You're saying if you can dance in the storm, like you're saying earlier, that song's kind of like, hey.
Dancing.
Yeah, but it's really nice to hear. I mean, respect fully the ambition of the song and the way you did it. But it's so dark for me, you know, and I really liked hearing the light.
Yeah.
After that, the Dance in the Rain, I was like, whoa, hey, there it is. Like, hey, vibrato's popping and you're having fun.
It's one of the Find Me song is more one of those to help when people are alone in a dark place, and just to connect and feel heard and understood. I don't want to perform it on a regular basis because it is dark, and I don't want to bring audiences like this place of like, oh my gosh, here I'm really depressed,
But of all the songs that you have made videos for, which usually brings more attention to what you're
Right.
doing, they're not all like la-di-da songs. They're like really heavy topic driven songs.
Right.
Isn't that weird how I've done that a
Mm-hmm.
lot with my videos? I've made like my most heavy conceptual songs, the video, and not the light fluffy stuff that everybody likes.
Well, I was just talking to a group of artists around the world. We've connected in this group, and they're filmmakers, and they're talking about, well, do we really want to get rid of all of our pain and heal, because that's where our art comes from? And I'm like, there's always going to be pain, I'm sure. It's just on how we respond to it. But I really love that I'm in a place right now where I'm writing more of the lighter stuff, where I'm grateful for the heavier stuff. And I know that if I'm in a heavy place again, like my song Enough, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to that one, but that one really is a beautiful song for me because I wrote it when I was feeling down. I was depressed for like 2 weeks, and I did not really understand what was going on. I was like just totally caught up in my mind, and I sat down at the piano and just started crying, and that's the song that came from it. And it really is the whole message of, I hear these voices in my head telling me that, why does it even matter? There's so many people better than you. You are not enough. Like,
Doesn't that feel weird?
Yeah, it's his voice,
You're just like, dude, that person's so much better than me.
Yeah.
They're so much younger than me.
Everything.
They've got all the tools. They're 5-tool players, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm just withering away. It's
Which is a really sad place to be. It really
paradise
is.
is in your mind.
It is.
It completely is in your
is.
head.
Well, and it changed. That whole song changed because I hear this other voice saying, no, you are amazing. You're enough. You're amazing. And I'm like, okay, so which one's true? Which voice is true here? And the answer in the song is whichever one you listen to. Like, you listen to that one, then yeah, you're not going to be enough. And it's pretty powerful because I remember sitting in a class after my divorce, and it was a class on how to deal with people, and it was for business, but it was just really interesting because she said, you teach people how to treat you based on how you love and respect yourself. And I'm like, what? Like, it was really kind of mind blowing for me, but I've thought about that. And I remember having a really frustrating time, and I was talking to this person one time, and I'm feeling like all my insecurities were coming out, and they're just like, do you want me to feel that about you? Like, is that what you want me to think about you? And I'm like, no. Like, then stop saying it. Like, you got to believe in yourself. And the days that I'm feeling effing amazing, those are days where I feel untouchable. And yet there are the days where I feel, that other feeling. So I wrote that song to remind me, like, which one are you going to listen to today, Sarah? Which one are you going to believe? Because I'm kind of tired of feeling that other way. I really am. So enough. Like, it's kind of twofold. So
enough talk.
Enough.
Like, enough talk. Do you know what that's from? I just randomly thought of that. It's from Conan the Destroyer.
Oh no,
Never mind.
I think my brothers watched that when I was a kid, but that was one that I'd walk through like,
Well, these priests are arguing, and Conan's just like, enough talk, and he throws a dagger and kills one. It's not really relevant, but it is. It so is.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll think about that now when I sing the song.
What are you listening to in your car? Like, you came here and you're like, I'm fired up. I just listened to Macklemore, and what are you bumping? What do you have? What's in your playlist? What kind of music genres, artists do you like?
So many different songs. Like I said, I just got finished. Well, I didn't say this over the podcast, but I just did a UPW, it was Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins.
Okay.
And it was, he was all about the peak state. Oh my gosh, peak state. Not steak.
You're all about that T-Rob, huh?
But he
that peak steak from T-Rob. No, really. Peak state of mind.
Just jumping around, listening to music, getting pumped up. And that's what I used to do. And I would yell in my car. But on the way over here today, that was one of the songs I loved from that conference, is like just jumping around. I ended up buying a little mini trampoline too. And so every morning I'm jumping around on that, like excited, listening to affirmations. And it makes me feel great, And so driving here.
Daily.
Yeah.
You wake up.
Well, I don't listen to the music every single morning. I'm usually listening to the affirmations when I'm jumping, and then I do yoga and I meditate.
So you wake up and you jump on a trampoline. Mm-hmm. Then you do yoga.
I meditate first.
You meditate.
Yeah.
Then jump on a trampoline.
Mm-hmm. Just a mini one.
Then you have cinnamon tea?
Yes. I have lemon water first.
Then you...
Sometimes celery juice. That's a Tony Robbins thing, but not always.
Okay. So this is how you maintain this whole thing, is you got meditation, lemon water, jumping on a trampoline, listening to Tony Robbins screaming, yoga, celery juice.
Yeah, reading, journaling.
Mm-hmm. Then you wake the kids up?
No, the kids are all on their own now. I only have 2 that live with me full time. I have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old, so they kind of are self-sufficient. It's nice. I don't have toddlers around.
Okay.
If I did, I would probably not be. Maybe I wouldn't be smiling as much. I don't know. I get a lot more sleep than I used to when my kids were little. Maybe this is why I can.
Hey, Trev's in the thick of it right now. We invented a new pizza the other day. Did you try that with them? The pizza pockets on top of a pizza?
Yeah, we did.
No, pizza squares, pizza bites on a pizza? That's...
My 13-year-old might like that.
Sprinkle that with cheese. It's not plant-based, but that's a winner.
Is there anything plant in there?
Nothing.
I know.
No, there's some herbs, some fresh herbs. Shad likes the fresh herbs. So put the fresh herbs. I love that guy's name.
I love his name too.
Do you love him?
Yes. He's a rock.
He's a rock. He seems like a really cool, supportive husband.
He is, because he sees me and appreciates me for who I am. He doesn't expect me to be someone else. And he really allows me to have my journey and growing in my spiritual side. And we talk all the time and we laugh all the time. And he gets me, he really does. And he really does support and love me. And there's just a different feeling. There's no competition. There's just a love and support. And that really has given me, well, one, I don't have to work 3 jobs anymore, which is a huge blessing. I mean, I still am doing 3 jobs, but differently. I'm creating my coaching thing, I have an office in my home. I do cross country and I do singing, but it's not like, 80 hours a week serving and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm thankfully he's the supportive in that sense, but he also allows me to find myself, and he loves my light. And I really appreciate that.
They say a good relationship is built off both partners holding space for the other to be themselves.
That is beautiful. Yes, I agree.
Somebody told me that, and I started practicing that with she's my wife.
Yeah.
Let's just face it. I'm going to be with her forever.
Yeah.
And also, a trick I was told one time is to, all the little things that bother you, learn to love them.
Yes.
Right?
Right. It's flipping that switch again, right?
Yes.
Because it makes them unique to who they are.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's not very many things that I don't know if I could really find anything. We've been together for 5 years, and I still I'm amazed with who he is.
You love saying his name.
I do.
He probably makes good tacos.
He makes amazing food. He cooks all the time.
He watches the shows you like.
He washes dishes even, you guys. And
He washes.
amazing.
I wash dishes. Does he? He's a rom-com guy too, isn't he? Isn't he?
Rom-com?
He likes rom-coms, romantic comedy. He'll watch them with you.
He'll watch them with me.
Seems like a good guy.
He did watch Pride and Prejudice with me, the long 5.5 hour version one. I don't know if he'll ever watch it again with me, but yes, he loves me enough to do that. So
would he go 4 hours on the new Justice League re-edit that just came out on HBO Max?
oh, probably. He likes superheroes.
I guess it's off the hook.
Yeah.
I guess it's like a total retelling of the story. They edited out 2 hours of storyline, and it just came out.
Really?
And it's all director's cut. Alex, what's his name?
No, it's
Something.
Zack Snyder.
Yeah, Zack Snyder's from the mind of Zack Snyder.
That's
Justice
cool.
League, the way you never saw it. It's got 2 more hours that tell way more story, and I guess it's way better.
That's cool.
Like heavy critics are saying that it's a two-thumber.
That's
It's a
very
two-thumber.
cool. We'll have to watch
Your
that.
voice, your whole life, right?
Mhm.
Your whole life singing?
Since I was a little girl.
Like Broadway, but
Well,
not really.
The very first show I was in when I was 2nd grade. I was in The Music Man. I mean, we did a big play in Salem when I was a kid, but
Did you ever do Oklahoma?
no. That's a good show, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom would always sing "Good morning, good morning,"
Yeah.
like all the time to wake us up in the morning. But I love that song, and I'll sing it to my kids too. So
I was going to ask you, do you sing to your kids?
I do. I used to sing to them a lot when they were little.
Like to go to sleep?
Yeah.
What did you sing to your kids when they went to sleep?
There's this. Well, I would kind of make up some like Brahms lullaby. I would always just like go to sleep,
Yeah.
sleep, little baby. My daughter the other day and I had a conversation. She's like, "What? Those aren't the words?" I'm like, "No, there's not really words. Go to sleep, little baby." Like
Yeah.
I just would sing that. And I was an outdoor school counselor when I was in high school, and I used to sing some of the songs that we would sing at outdoor school because they were just beautiful songs. And then I sang an angel lullaby one to them all the time. That is from an LDS soundtrack of a show that they did called My Turn on Earth, and it's just a beautiful angel lullaby talking about, there's angels that are watching over you when you sleep, and you're from the world of light. It's a beautiful song. My dad used to sing that to me when I was little too.
So you grew up listening to your dad and your mom singing to you. That was the first person you remember singing to you that you really could in person live.
I don't know if I remember it, but I know they did.
The first live performer you ever experienced was your
Right.
mom
Yes.
and your dad.
Yeah. We sang together as a family a lot though too.
Really?
Yeah. Because with growing up in the LDS church, they have a family night called Family Home Evening. And so every Monday night, you're supposed to set aside time for your family. And always with music and a prayer and like a scripture and a story. I really did love that growing up because we had that connection and we would always sing these songs and we'd sing rounds together. And like, I don't know, I did have a singing family. Like we sang a lot.
It's interesting that you chose to not sing religious music for the payday, to be honest with you. It's a lot more established that you can go perform at churches. There's the people support musicians that are Christian or whatever. It's an easier path to be a Christian artist than it is a non-Christian artist, where most of the people are in the ocean, right?
Right.
You could have gone that way. You could have taken the easy bucks and sang how you do about religion.
I want to sing universal though.
You want to touch everybody.
I want it to be truth for everyone. I want it to be truth to any religion or a non-religious person that they can relate to it. And it might not. And I'm learning to be okay with that. Like, not everyone's going to appreciate and love what I do. I mean, my ego doesn't like that. I mean, I would love to say everyone's going to love everything I do.
But you could have, that would have been you over here.
Right, right.
Because that's what happens.
Right.
I've seen people who had careers, they're famous, and then they come over here to the rest of the world music scene, and they're trying to bust in so hard, and it's like, look, man, you guys spent 20 years over there. It's not the same as over here.
It's different.
It's way different. Mm-hmm. It's a lot harder journey to me. But you grew up singing in church and choir, and right?
High school choirs mostly.
Choir.
Yeah.
What were you?
Where was I, or what was
Tenor, soprano, alto 2 or 1?
Either, whatever they needed. And I would throw in soprano every once in a while. In college, I sang as a mezzo soprano until my last semester, and I decided to do soprano for fun. So that was a whole nother experience. But,
guess what I am?
Tenor?
2.
Tenor 2?
Tenor 2. You know what that means?
It means you're a lower tenor.
Yeah. So on we go.
Is that your identity? Is that on your album?
No. I just never knew what that meant. Yeah. So I was asking you because you know. What songs translate from different religions in church? Do you sing in the, I'm sorry, what did you call it without saying it's the Mormon church? LDS church. Did you sing like, our God is an awesome God, he reigns from heaven above? Or were they all original songs that were just for the Mormon church?
They were hymns.
Hymns.
Yeah, and they do have, they have a lot of music that are like albums that if somebody has a musical number at church, they'll sing it. But what we sing as a group, we always sing as hymns with an organ player or a piano player.
And songbooks. And
yeah. So the other songs would be sang for baptisms or special firesides or gatherings that they would have. And they're beautiful songs. I mean, there's definitely another music world there.
Yeah.
That's pretty categorized for the LDS church. And I think that those are Mormon singers, not.
And just to rewind a bit, that was BYU was the original college destination, right?
My sisters all went there. Yeah.
It's like the greatest spot to be. Right?
That's growing up. That was my thought.
That's the spot. So, but your voice, I've seen it. I hear it, the sultry smooth, your goals, the jazz, I hear the nighttime songs. I hear the happiness, I hear the vibrato. It seems like you've really honed in and sharpened your blade with that skill. You've honed in your piano.
I'm always a student though. Like I love practicing it. I love getting better at it, and I know I'll always be a student. But I do like getting better, and I like honing it in, and I like finding that was cool. Let's do that again, or you know.
Yeah.
But it is still sometimes hard for me to listen to my own voice. So
it's like, always hard.
That's not what I hear in my head, but
there's some simple things that I'm going to tell you about after the podcast for your home recording technique, and I'm going to show you some tips because I listened and I was like, all I have to do is tell her these 3 things, and you'll be stoked.
Thank you.
Honestly, I think you'll be stoked. So, and that's just like piano. Every day, record. You'll get better and better and better, and that's just it's like anything.
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Thank you.
This is my 5th podcast. I feel like I've said like a lot less than my first one.
I don't think I've noticed you saying like. I've said yeah a lot because now I'm thinking yeah.
Oh, don't worry about that. You can say yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I say a lot of yeah stuff. Like, yeah.
And I'm agreeing. You're right.
It's true.
True.
This guy's a genius. No, I'm just joking. Your show on Friday.
Yes.
What can we as an audience expect when we tune in on Friday at 7 p.m. still? Are we going to go past? Are we doing it 7?
Yeah,
7. When do you eat dinner with your kids?
Well,
On a Friday.
I'm coaching cross country until 5, so I figured I would probably just run home, get ready, and come here. So I don't know.
On the
I figured
average
we were
Friday
gonna do
night.
7.
On the average Friday night.
We like to eat around 6:30.
6:30ish.
Yeah.
You're eating the whole family.
Maybe.
When
My
do you
daughter
start
works,
streaming on the couch? 8?
8. Yeah.
8. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if we go 8, it's more of a streamy time.
Yeah.
It's more Brooksy, more watery and flowy. You like water.
I do like water.
Is that your favorite element?
If I'm not in it too much. I like watching water.
If you're a superhero, you're obviously going to be a phoenix with like beautiful colors.
Fire and
What
fire.
colors do you see? I notice a lot of pastels are in your repertoire. Autumn colors. You like?
I love, for some reason, the colors that always are coming back to me right now are like this, kind of like this, like a burnt orange and a light teal green.
Light teal green.
I don't know why. They really speak to me right now.
You feel those colors. Mm-hmm. I wish I was qualified to tell you what that means.
I don't know yet, but I could probably go look it up.
Are you left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Good to know. At your show,
Oh, what to expect?
what are we going to expect at your show?
I have 2 sets that I'm going to be doing, and usually I would probably mix up a little bit more of the faster with the slower, but my second set will be with a bass player and a drummer, which I'm really excited.
Who is the bass player?
Joe Dinkwitz.
Joe Dinkowitz. Joe Dinkowitz. He's going to be on upright bass.
He is.
Holy beep. That's
Yes.
great. You're stoked.
I'm so excited.
Who else? I'm sorry. I got
Alan.
so absorbed in
Trevor's father is going to be
Trev's dad
Alan. Yes.
on the kit. Wait, your band is Alan.
Well, it's not really my band. It's more for this show, and I've only been practicing them for a little while now. So, but it's just the second set. My first set is just me on the piano, but we're going to try to pick it up a little bit more
So
lively.
you're gonna vibe it in, then bring the band
and
up.
there's some slower songs, but they're all with meaning. And I'm like, I'm not doing obviously all of my songs. I'm not going to do any of the really depressing songs. I'm going to keep those out.
You can do it if you want to.
But I'm kind of just want to kind of let it flow with a handful of the ones that I haven't necessarily performed a lot of that are some of the newer ones, and then sing a handful with them. So it'll be fun.
On a confidence level for all the new songs, are you at 80, 90%? Where are you at? Because it usually takes about one live show to get that 100% confidence in it.
Yeah, with the newer ones.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I'm probably closer to 85 right now on some of those. But I was, well, it was really funny because what I did is I wrote them, practiced them. I went and recorded them. And then I'm like, I haven't played them for like 2 months. I'm like, how does that song go again? I'm like, oh shoot, I just wrote that song. How does it go? And I had to listen to it again. I'm like, oh, there it is. It's like in my mind, pull the file out, get it ready. So now I'm just practicing it a lot so it doesn't happen to me on a Friday night.
I know. A good strategy is to always be, do you practice at the same time you're going to play for a week at least?
No, I haven't done it.
It's a good trick.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll play at 11, so I'll just be wide awake at 11 all week. So when my brain is fully popping at 11, prime time. Good trick.
See,
Maybe
when I practice my music and I close my eyes, it's almost like a meditative state. And it's exhausting, and I'm so tired when I'm done. Like, I need to go down and lay down. And it's weird. I was practicing the other day, and I'm like, just closing my eyes. I'm like running through my lyrics and really into it. And I love that I'm not looking at the piano. I'm like, this song is really a part of me. But I don't want to fall asleep during shows either. So, okay, I need to bring a little more lively. Maybe I need to get a solid band or, something going. So,
so basically, the quarantine shut it down, and then you went through the storm. You danced in the storm, and out of the storm, this is what came out of it, is this performance.
Yeah.
And you're going to step to the stage with Alan Yarish.
Yes.
And Joe Dinkowitz.
Yes.
As your band.
Yeah.
That's what you pulled out of the quarantine year of shit.
Well, I had an amazing person say, hey, you want to perform live with some amazing musicians? I'm like, heck yeah. So it was an amazing
You still did it.
Yes.
You still did it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that everything we talked about was fantastic. I'm really excited about your show. There's some other things I want to talk about real quick before we go, just some fun stuff. Who would you, I know we spoke a little bit earlier, but I always want to know who people would drive cross country to see play live in a time machine, Geo Metro time machine, that we tried to get a warranty on earlier in this episode, but he didn't really listen to us.
He didn't like that.
So you got to drive 3,000 miles to Florida where you had your first child and see the sunrise with three of the greatest musicians, your favorite musicians of all time, dead or alive. They're playing in their prime, opener, main support, headliner.
Well, Ella Fitzgerald would be up there, so.
Okay.
Oh, shoot.
Gotta thank anybody.
I'd really like to see Eva Cassidy.
Eva Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Melody Gardot.
Ella, Eva, and Melody. 3 in a row.
Yeah, I'd probably end with Ella. Probably second was Eva, and first is Melody Gardot. So.
Like it.
And
like
they're
it.
all just so
Organic.
I like it. It's cool to see that feminine energy and power in your dream
Thank you.
show. It's cool
Thank you.
because there's so many men out there, Beethoven, Bob Marley, people like that who
Oh, well,
you
there's
could
those
have
guys
picked
too.
from.
You
But-
put me on the spot. I was coming in thinking one. I'm like, oh yeah, Ella, and I'm like, oh shoot, 2 more.
No, Ella's the jam.
I do love classical music. I mean,
Yeah,
love
really?
classical music. Yes.
What? Who are you?
Well, Vivaldi's,
Who you bumping these days?
Vivaldi's Four Seasons could always be in my car. Like I love Vivaldi.
Okay.
Bach, Mozart, and Beethoven, of course.
Yeah.
Piano. I love classical piano. I just don't play it. I wanted to play classical, and I kept telling myself when I was 27 and back at school playing piano, I'm going to be a classical pianist by the time I'm 40.
I'm surprised
And,
Nina Simone isn't one of your.
She's up there.
She's a classically
She's
trained
up there.
pianist, right?
Yeah, I think it's just different songs speak to me and their voices, and maybe kind of how I sing along with them. Like, can I relate to that?
She's hard to sing
voice?
along with.
Yeah.
Because she's sort of like a
She's so
soul
amazing,
jazz singer, right?
Yeah.
She sings more. She could have sang rock music, right?
Yeah.
She's
she
not.
really pulled soul out of that. You're right.
She's mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's hard to listen to her and not just be totally blown and floored away by what she's doing.
I think it depends really what energy or what mode you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because I obviously gave you, jazz, but there's so many different amazing performers that if, I wanted high energy, it probably wouldn't be those 3. It would, but that would be more of for a different feel, but
Yeah.
Sounds like there's some stops on the way to Florida.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
some stops
yeah,
in Texas,
definitely.
Missouri.
yeah,
You're just picking them up.
just picking up.
Hop in the Geo. Let's go. So I'm on this car ride across country, and I got my ADD brother in the car, and he has zero attention span. He's more interested in his Instagram. And I'm going to say, hey, man, I got this live show on Saturday at 8 p.m. And her name's Sarah Dion Brooks. I just had her on the podcast. You want to check out some of her music? And he'll look at me like, sure. And I know I got, a few seconds. And I want to show him what you do.
Yeah.
And before you tell me the song, I want to thank you for coming in. And I'm going to thank you ahead of time for playing on Friday. And I will see you there.
Thank you.
I'll be there rooting you on.
Awesome.
I can't wait to see the band you put together and the songs you prepared. So thank you for coming in, Sarah Dion Brooks. And why don't you tell us what song we play for him to get him to know that you exist on Earth?
It's not going to probably be one to get him dancing,
It's okay.
but
He's a heady guy.
probably The Door to Change.
Door to Change. All right, we're going to roll Door to Change. Thank you, Sarah Dion Brooks, for
Thank
coming
you.
in. We're looking forward to Friday, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Okay?
Marv.
Thank you.
In a world where there is so much suffering and pain, there's gotta be another way. Things have gotta change. People everywhere sitting in silent prayer, begging, pleading, and hoping that the door to change will somehow be open. The place of pain is a very dark place to be. We all have a light within, but sometimes it's so hard to see. Smothered by the trail of darkness that pain will leave behind, hidden behind the door that closes off the mind. I hope to be the key that unlocks the door to change. It's not just up to me, it's up to all of us to arrange. Will you stand up by my side and help me push that door free? It's a heavy door and it'll take so much more than just the strength of me. We all walk the line between what is right and wrong. But when we hurt one another, the fight will continue on. It's a battle that cannot be won when pain is the root of it all. Until we face the pain within, we will continue to fall. I hope to be the key that unlocks the door to change. It's not just up to me, it's up to all of us to arrange. Will you stand up by my side and help me push that door free? It's a heavy door and it'll take so much more than just the strength of me. We gotta change, we gotta change, we gotta change what's going on. We gotta change, we gotta change, together we are strong. We gotta come together, we gotta let go and heal the pain. We gotta find that light of love so we can start over again. I know I have the key that unlocks the door to change. I found it here within me, and now it's time to rearrange. I will stand up by your side and we will push that door free. It's not such a heavy door when love is what we live for, so let's start with you and me. It's not such a heavy door when we love one another more. Love is the key.